I think the more you identify yourself with your mistakes, the more mistakes you make. You are going to make more mistakes because that's who you are, that's what you identify yourself with. Stop defining yourself with your mistakes. You're not your mistakes. Just because you made some mistakes, it doesn't mean that you deserve a shitty life. You do not deserve to live a life filled with guilt and regret just because you made some mistakes. Stop defining yourself by your mistakes. They are a common human experience that every human goes through. You just have to stop limiting yourself by those few mistakes, by those few silly mistakes that you made. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Sakshi, and today I'm going to talk about feeling unloved just because you made a mistake. If you're feeling unloved, if you're feeling like you are not lovable and you do not deserve to be loved just because you made a few mistakes, I need you to please watch this. You deserve everything regardless of your mistakes. You lost some money, it's fine. Money can be made again, but your identity cannot be attached to your mistakes. If you attach yourself to your mistakes, you are prone to make more mistakes. You will constantly keep making mistakes in in the hunt of finding yourself, because mistakes are what you define yourself with. Just because you made a few mistakes, it doesn't mean that your parents shouldn't love you unconditionally. It doesn't mean that your friends should judge you and now hate you. Just because you made a few mistakes, it doesn't mean that you deserve hate. Also, when I made a big mistake in my life, I thought that I now deserved a life filled with others' permission. Like, I deserved a life that wasn't in my own control. When I made a mistake, I felt like I didn't deserve to live a good life. I didn't deserve to make the decisions of my own life because I'm going to make mistakes. And made such a big mistake. Now I don't deserve to live my own life. All I deserve to do or be is someone else's puppet. I thought I was just going to be a daughter and I was going to follow every single rule and regulation that my parents set for me just because now I made a mistake because I was obliged to do so. You are not obliged to live a shitty life just because you made a mistake. Making a mistake is not an excuse for you to live a life which does not include your wants, your needs, your desires. And joy should be there. Just because you made a mistake doesn't mean that you do not deserve to be happy. When I made a mistake, I was like, I cannot even crack a joke now because I made such a big mistake and I deserve to live in the guilt. You do not deserve to live in the guilt. Guilt is just there to teach you something. Guilt and regret are the two places where you can either live like live there your whole life and die with those things, or you can let those places teach you something that other places couldn't. And mistakes lead you to guilt and regret. But what I want you to know is that just because you made a mistake, it doesn't mean that those places are something you're like, those places are not for you. If you made a mistake, it doesn't mean that guilt and regret are the places you belong to. Guilt and regret are not the places you belong to, they are lessons to be learned. They show you things that you need to learn and move forward with wisdom and knowledge. Making mistakes does not mean that now your friends will treat you shitty and your parents will shout at you all the time and do not offer you anything. And now that you made a mistake, you don't have a right to make a demand. You do have a right to make a demand. Every human makes a mistake. They all hide it pretty well. Your own family members, your parents must have made so many mistakes that you don't even know about, but that doesn't mean that they led a very bad life. They kept going regardless. And that's what I want you to do. No matter how many mistakes you make, you will keep making on mistakes, and that is a fact. You have to accept it, you have to learn with it, you have to deal with those things with grace. Just because you made a mistake, it doesn't mean now you need to be hard on yourself, mean to yourself, and call yourself a stupid bitch. You are not. And I want you to focus on the truth. Everyone makes mistakes. Every single person on earth makes mistakes. You are not the only one. And if they can lead a good and successful life regardless, then you can too. You can too lead a life of pride after making a mistake. Making mistakes does not make you unlovable, it just gives you more experience and takes off that naive mask over you. Making mistakes is an experience to learn about life more. Making mistakes is just an experience to learn about yourself, your life, your impulses, your habits, all of these things more. By making mistakes, you learn more. I know mistakes lead to many bad experiences, but those experiences are also stories that will stay in your mind so that the next time you're trying to make the same mistake, you remember how you felt the last time you made that mistake. Like the next time you're going to make a mistake, just be easy on yourself. Go easy on yourself. This is your first try at life. Do not be so hard on yourself. Do not act like a monk. Even monks make mistakes, you know. Just be easy on yourself. Do not go hard on yourself, and give yourself the love you need. Because also, when you make a mistake, you do not expect others to show you sympathy. And when they do, you hate it because you feel like you feel like a fool. When others give you sympathy when you make a mistake, you feel like a fool. And I want you to give all the sympathy, all the empathy, all the love to yourself right now because you need it. When you make a mistake, that's the time when you need your love the most. Also, seek out support. Seek out support in people you think who will support you. Because there are people who will support you, there are people who will show you the real truth, which is that life doesn't end when you make a mistake. I thought my life ended when I made that mistake. I was like, now I'm obliged to lead a life which is not in my own hands. When you make a mistake, it doesn't mean that your life should be taken away from you. When you make a mistake, it doesn't mean that you do not deserve to talk to God, you do not deserve blessings, you do not deserve miracles. You deserve all that. God wants you to make those mistakes so you can be the person you're meant to be. You wouldn't be where you are without making the mistakes you did, you know. You wouldn't be where you are without making the mistakes you made. And that is the truth God wants you to see. The more mistakes you make, the more you learn, the more experience you gather, the more lessons you take. And the more lessons you learn, the more you learn about life and the more you learn how to deal with it. Making mistakes is an integral part of being a human. You are not a robot born with programs in your mind to know or to learn how to lead a good life. Of course, there are societal conditions कि कौन से stage पे क्या करना है. But I just want you to know that you can still go after your dreams even after making mistakes. Just because you make mistakes, just because you made a big mistake, it doesn't mean that you do not deserve your dreams now or you are not capable of your dreams or you are not the right person for the dreams. You still deserve good things, you still deserve all the happiness in your life, and making mistakes does not mean that you live in a cell forever, that you live behind bars forever. A mistake is not a crime. A mistake is a mistake. There's a difference. Just because you made a mistake, it does not mean you're obliged to live behind bars of your own limitations. of your own restrictions that you've set on yourself, of your own judgments. Do not judge yourself for making a mistake, no matter how big it is. You can always learn, you can always move forward. What helped me go through that mistake was talking it out. I had this one friend that I poured my heart into, I just got everything off my chest, and even my parents were really supportive when I made that mistake, but it ate me up. When you are silent about that mistake, that thing eats your soul. That thing eats you alive. There's no life left in you when you let it eat you, and when you let it make you suffer. You're not here to suffer. You're here to learn, evolve, change, become your best self. You're here to become your truest self. And you made a mistake. I know it's a mistake. But okay, for example, when you hurt your friend, you wouldn't apologize every single day for a hundred days, right? You would move on. You would try to grow that friendship. You would try to improve that friendship. You would try to improve yourself. You wouldn't apologize for 100 days. Apologizing for the same mistake for weeks is a waste of time, because instead of apologizing, you could have used that time to improve yourself, to improve your own mind, to learn about yourself and life, and about that particular friendship or relationship. Life doesn't end when you make a mistake, it just evolves, it just elevates. Life gives you lessons through mistakes so that you can become and evolve and transition in the person you always wanted to be. You are not going to get everything you prayed for by sitting in the same place, by being in the same place. God is going to give you lessons so that you know more about life and you have the knowledge to be who you want to be. Making mistakes is not a crime, and apologizing for it 100 times is just waste of time. Give yourself grace. Give that time and energy in starting over. How can you start over? How can you get through this with love and care and gentleness? Be gentle with yourself. Be careful with yourself, because if you will feed yourself the wrong things, then God knows where you will be. You will be in the worst place ever. You will be worse than you are right now if you keep feeding yourself the wrong things. I kept telling myself I was stupid and dumb and all these things, but this is not the truth. Everyone makes mistakes. It doesn't define their personality, it doesn't define how the person is. You just have to learn how to get over these mistakes instead of learning how to accept them as your fate, and tell yourself that you're not going to let this mistake define your whole identity, because that happens a lot. You just let yourself, you just let this one thing define you when you're not. More than focusing on your mistakes, focus on what you did right. Focus on the things that went right. Focus on the things that you did good for people. More than focusing on how many people you hurt, focus on how many people you made happy. And nothing is perfect. Okay, you are not perfect. Every human makes mistakes. No one is perfect. You just have to learn how to give yourself grace and become a better person and use those mistakes to your advantage. That is it for today's video. Thank you guys. Bye bye.